Hello, 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 Valtopia. What up, my honeys? Happy Thursday. It's 12:25 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here in Los Angeles, Venice Beach. I'm ready to bring it. Bring it another day. Di Maria, what's happening, my baby? Hello, hello. My internet's a little slow, so let me just share this around. If you're just joining and if you're just watching the playback, you're going to want to stay tuned to this if you have struggled with or are expanding your ability to have your own sense of boundaries, to know the red flags around your communication and interaction with others, and what is okay and isn't okay for your particular self. Hi, Christy. Yeah, so let me share this and then we're going to talk about this because this comes up so much, especially for healers and kind-hearted people, creators who really want to help and are used to accommodating others. And we got to learn some boundaries, people. Hey, Gina, we got to get our edges clear. And this isn't about being protective or scared or telling people to fuck off or anything like that. This is about you being aware of what's good for you and recognizing where you have had a way of being that may not really be good for you anymore, and you get to shift that, okay? So let me just share this around. And if you're new to me, honey, I'm Val Cripps. I am in my 4th year of business as Valtopia, and I am an energy guide, a mindset mentor. I have virtual clients around the world. I work with a very few clients one-to-one. At the highest level, it is several thousand, it's a few from 1,000 and up a month to work with me on 90-day contracts. And then I run group experiences at a different rate so that we can have all kinds of interaction in the Valtopia sphere. And I can share my journey that it helped me go from being pretty much doormat behavior to a boss bitch. Okay? Got it? So good. Let me share this into Valtopia. It's my free group. You should join us in there if you want to. If you really want to get the love, then you need to come into our paid group, Valtopia Celebrate. We're opening access. It's only $88 a month. And that's where you get my readings, you get my energy, you get my, why is this being difficult to share? You get a beautiful community, and so much happens. So I'm so sorry. This is just taking me a little minute to share for some reason. Come on now. Oh, well, let me just start here and I'll share in a moment. There's something going on with my little internet. So let me read these comments. Let's see. Your subject line caught my attention as I just cut cords with a relationship. Good for you. I've spent a whole day in bed. Yeah, you got to take a little time to recover, you know. There's the ego and the person you were, and you might still be in this moment, and then there's the woman that you're becoming. And the one that you were, there's like inner child, there's past life stuff. You get to nurture yourself and move through that shift. So you were being cheated on. Fuck that. Isn't it funny how our eye knows and we're like, oh no, that's not happening. And we ignore ourselves when we actually do know exactly what's up. Yes, boundaries is a healthy way to decide where you begin and others end. You know, like, we're not past this point. This is the space that I take up as a being. And this is what I'm willing to take responsibility for and own and breathe into. And then that also means that you're respecting others and their space that they're breathing into. And if that's crossing into your tightness and it's affecting your wellness, then you get to decide and express that in a positive way or not. So I want to talk today about there are certain personality types where communication isn't the best option. Anybody feel me on this? And what happens a lot of times for those of us who are highly empathic, many of us have had a difficult childhood or even ancestral lines of lots of trauma and difficulty, immigrants, whatever, difficult lives. And we're used to crossing the codependent line. We're used to relying on each other in unhealthy ways where one person is more dominant and the other person is more submissive, and there's a co-living together there that has worked for eons, but it hasn't really worked because it hasn't been healthy. And we get into this pattern of pleasing those around us for survival or for habitude or for however it's come about. And then we grow up and we get into our lives and we don't know what's healthy and what isn't. And we aren't quite sure where the line of me begins and ends. And I'm in several groups, private paid groups, and I have so many clients. And I see this, and I had to learn for myself as I was going through my divorce, like what is okay and what isn't okay. And you know, sometimes we look at people who are in an abusive situation or in a situation where the best of them isn't being allowed, and we think, well, why are they doing that? And the truth is that if we're in the middle of it, there's part of us inside that think that that's all we deserve and that's normal and that's all we get. And we don't have the sense of a wholeness of ourselves and the other person, that they're perfectly capable without us catering to them, and that we're perfectly capable without us kowtowing to them, and that in rising up within ourselves and honoring our boundaries and asking for what we need and expecting it to be listened to and heard, and then implementing follow through on that, that's where we get to be healthy and they do too. And when we are complicit in that codependency and letting others take advantage of us and not listen to us and not letting ourselves be heard and not establishing responsibility for ourselves, we create the problem with them. It's not that you're a victim and they're doing something to us. It's that we're allowing that to happen. That was a really hard one for me to accept when I first started learning about that. I was like, wait a minute, how are you telling me that this is my fault? But the more responsibility we can take for our own choices and what we're allowing to happen to us, the more that from the inside out, we don't experience that shit anymore. Because if we think it's outside of us and it's out of control, well, then it's going to keep happening. But when we own who we are and we speak clearly and we decide that you're not available for something and we set the boundaries and we take the space that we need and we let people know and expect them to honor that and take the responsible action to implement that, we experience a different thing, right? So let me read these comments. Boundaries, that's what keeps us centered. Hi, Pauline. D. Maria says, the woman I'm becoming is who is rising, but the old me is just asking for love, not throwing a fit like usual. That's what I want to talk about, this feeling that we do where we just don't want to cause trouble or we don't want to stir it up or we don't want to make any problems, and so we just let things unfold. And we also know in our eye what's going on, and we ignore our intuition, that first hit that comes in every situation that we do know the truth, and we think, oh no, that couldn't be, or oh no, that's not happening. And then we get resentful and we feel like shit because we're not backing ourselves and listening to our intuition, right? Yes, Pauline, good. Boundaries. And I want you guys to know, if you have any issues with boundaries and you're afraid to do if you're afraid to define them, if you're afraid to implement them, if you don't even know where you begin and other people end, I'm your lady. And if you would like to work on this right away, I have a spot for you, because this will change your life. This will change your health. This will change your wealth. This will change your being. But when we are afraid, which most of my clients come to me, have some sort of toxic, codependent stuff going on, and it is scary at first to implement these boundaries. It is confusing and hard to see where you begin and the other end. If you have a lifetime of training in one way of being, one lifestyle, and you're just beginning to realize, fuck that shit, that is not me, and I don't want to live like this anymore, and you're having trouble shifting it, I understand the intricacies and the subtleties. There's a lot of layers to release, and there's a lot of practice. It's practice, and when you can practice in support, you're going to get a lot further than when you're by yourself and you're scared and you're running from yourself. D. Maria says, I know this is all happening for a reason. Yeah, you're up-leveling, woman, and this for your highest good, and something beautiful is going to come out of it. I also know in my soul that I'm going to be repaid for marking my boundaries and standing up to myself. Yeah, you know how you get repaid, D. Maria? You can trust yourself. You can trust yourself. And you know what's most exciting about doing this work is once you begin to implement this and know what is working for you and what isn't, you can smell a red flag a mile away. How many of you know the red flags when someone is pushing your boundaries? How many of you know when someone is crossing that line? Hey, Lauren, how are you? I'm bringing this up because I'm having some experiences in my own life, and I'm also seeing my clients struggle with this, clients who have amazing skill sets and who've invested thousands of dollars in their knowledge, and then feel like they have to give their work away for free because somebody's asking, a friend. What do you guys feel about that, right? And I'm like, wait a minute. Why is it of value to them or you to have them assuming that you give away your time and your expertise when that there's people who are, it's just like we have to understand where the line is, where it crosses. Here's another one I want to bring up that was my personal experience. Someone asked me that they wanted to do something. I won't say the specifics. And I said a very polite no, that's not what I not want to do that. And their response was, why not? It's no big deal. Who has heard that one before? It's no big deal. I was with a man for 11 and a half years, married, and that was one of his favorite things to say. Why not? It's no big deal. And there were so many circumstances where I would express myself and it was as if I hadn't spoken at all. Or I would communicate clearly what I needed and it was like I'd never said it. How many of you guys are experiencing that from your parents or from your partner or from friends or from siblings? That shit is not gonna fly. We don't get to dismiss and minimize what somebody else just politely told you because it doesn't align with what you want. It's no big deal. It's probably, unless you're having fun and you're saying, come on, let's go party or something. I mean, not party, but I don't know. I can't think of a situation where it's really a good idea to say it's no big deal unless it's an aligned conversation where we're lightening the mood and lifting up. But if you want to dismiss someone's feelings and completely negate them, then say that, because that's bullshit. It is a big deal if someone's very clearly stated what they desire. So if you're telling someone, I would not like to do that, and explaining why, and then I feel someone's heart chakra right now, by the way, and they're just ready to dismiss what you've politely and clearly spoken, and you feel kind of like, whoa, they didn't hear me? They didn't hear you. Knock, knock, they didn't hear you. So now it's on you. Now it's on you to either walk away and never engage with that person again if it's a new person and it's obvious they're going to be dismissing you, which is what my choice was. I don't like ghosting, but don't fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? And if it's someone that's already interwoven into your life, then now you get a chance to begin to notice when your line has been crossed and they're not respecting you, and you get to implement a loving boundary for yourself and say, yeah, you know what? I'm not available for you dismissing what's important to me. I'm not available for you saying that what's a big deal to me isn't a big deal. Y'all feeling this energy? Fuck that. I just drank some green tea too, by the way. Pauline's raising her hand. Gina can feel it from afar. What do you feel from afar, honey? Yeah, the resentment and anger inside. Yeah, that's on you. If you're feeling all angry inside, you've let it go too far. And you're mad at yourself because you're not letting yourself do what you need to do. Dee Maria says, yes, learned how strong my intuition is and was seeing the red flags everywhere, but you'd been single for so long you thought it was fear. I got you. I can see where that would happen, where you have an old story and you don't want to keep recreating it, so you want to trust. But you got to trust yourself first. Your inner trust and backing yourself is key. You will find a different type of person being attracted into your field after you've been in the energy of you that's confident and trusts yourself and knows yourself. It might take a minute, I've been doing this work for a while and I'm still attracting some weirdos. I got this guy that messaged me on a dating app this morning and said, if you date me, I'll clear off those sunspots. Fuck you, brah. Like, gross. What a gross way to attract someone. I'm in these dating apps and ain't nothing happening because there's so many fools on there. And that's my point of attraction right now, apparently. So I'm taking my time. Dee Maria says, I could totally relate to that just recently. Literally those words. And Gina says, oh my God, yes, I've been in that before. It doesn't work with me now. Yeah. Lauren says, it is a big deal because if you give a small amount of power away, then you will give all your power away. Well, essentially someone just denying what you've just clearly stated and saying it's not a big deal is a big deal. And that's what I want to talk about. It's like when you see how someone physically and verbally responds to your specific request, you are allowed to say, well, that's just not good enough. I don't care for that. And it's up to you to then carry that out and fulfill your boundary, to fulfill your needs. It's not on them. They get to do whatever they're doing, but you get to decide whether they get to be around you or not, or whether they get to have any energy with you. Yeah, I do feel some heart chakra. Hi, Carinder, how are you? I'd love to come on your show, to message me. I'm all about getting on people's shows right now, and I'm about to start a podcast too. Lauren says, if you can't make small choices, you can't make big choices. It's so true. Yeah, being dismissed like my feelings aren't a big deal. Fuck that, your feelings are a big deal. Yes, choices is life, absolutely. So this is really what my message was today. I want to give you strength to back yourself, and I want you to know that if you've been in a situation where you're not quite sure where the line begins and ends, or you're afraid to back yourself, that you are allowed to back yourself. And if you need support and you're not ready to book in with me one-to-one, I want you to join us in the Valtopia Celebrate group. It's only $88 a month, and this is the kind of, it's a very small, intimate space. This is the kind of place where you could post in the group and say, this is happening and it doesn't feel right to me. What's going on here? And as a community, it's not just me, but it's Team Valtopia, which is a powerful team, and the crew in the group. We get to bounce ideas, and of course I'm also going to be doing live streaming and readings and sharing in there. It's a beautiful space. I fucking love it. It's a monthly membership. So let's pull a couple cards for today's energy, because I know there's a bunch of new light rays and light waves coming in. And, I just want you to honor yourselves and the boundaries that you are beginning to establish for yourself if it's new. It's everything that's new is awkward at first, whether it's meditation, whether it's owning your frequency, whether it's nutrition, whatever it is. Give yourself a chance to be a beginner, and let yourself be like funky at first, and do it until you get used to it. Jennifer says, I think you just offended my husband, and I love it. I've not the first husband I've offended. He heard this after very clearly not listening to me and then left. Thank you for saving my breath. You're welcome, honey. Well, when he gets the bill and says Valtopia, be like, who? I'm just kidding. I've had so many husbands say, what is Valtopia? But yeah, tell him calmly. And we don't have to lose our temper or be a jerk to tell someone what we need. We just need to stand strong and firm in it for ourselves. And if it's someone you don't know, like on a dating app, and they're beginning to get to know you and they're already pushing your boundary, well then in that case, you just walk away. They're obviously not listening to you. So if you start to engage, it's going to be one of those loops. I hate those narcissist loops where people just want to engage and fight with you over some stuff. K-Boss. My dog is going crazy over here making all this racket. What are you doing, baby? You're making so much noise. Come on. All morning, he's like, racket. So, well, I hope you can smooth things over I trust you will smooth things over with your husband. And if you are in a relationship like that, Jennifer, and that's happening, where are you not listening to him, right? That's a good place to start. Because generally, if we're having something reflected back to us, it might be, especially if it's in an ongoing relationship, there's probably a chance it's a reflection of somewhere inside of you. And where are you not listening to yourself, too? Because if we start seeing it happening outside of us, then there's a good chance inside of ourselves we feel someplace where we're ignoring ourselves, right? So this is powerful work, and it's not easy to get into sometimes. You're not only are you developing new habits, your ego mind is trying to keep you where you were. Other people are trying to keep you where you were. It's new, it's awkward, it's uncomfortable. You're challenging things that have been normal to you for a long time to replace them with new normals. It's a lot. And that's why, it's great to get support, because I know for myself, I keep forgetting what I've learned. I keep trying to go back to what I was, even though I've grown. And so the support that I invest in helps me keep coming up and up and up, right? I got you, Jennifer. You're last few weeks. Okay, I feel you on that. Well, I'm glad you're taking care of yourself, and I'm sorry you're going through that. And if you need any support, I got you. I've been through that whole process, and it's a lot. It's a lot, and it's a powerful rebirth. And then there's the whole period after the rebirth that, you know, it takes a couple years to kind of leave behind what you were and come into who you are. And there are ways to expedite the process of embodying your next level when you're coming through something like that, because it's pretty traumatic, right? It's hard, especially, yeah, I feel you. Yeah, well, Jennifer, what I want to clue you into that you probably already know is once you're out of that environment, then you still get to deal with your own shit then after you've dealt with, you know, once we begin to align our lives and come out of life situations that are so misaligned, then we finally get to the work of knowing and being and doing ourselves. And that can be like, whoa, I thought I already did a ton of work here. And then it's like, oh, now I get to do the work of loving and honoring myself. And one of the things that I've been doing for myself lately is this cleanse. Do you guys see how I'm glowing? Do you see the glowing? I feel so amazing. I feel so energetic. I feel so alive. I feel so thriving. And this green shake that I'm drinking is so rich in nutrients, and it tastes good. And it's just like, I just know that this is a piece of the puzzle I've been wanting so long. And if you guys want to know anything about the nutrition and the cleanse that I'm doing, I want to share it with you. And I'm going to be sharing it as a program launching in November, beginning in January. So save up your dollars for this program. The glow up is going to be fucking fantastic. I can't tell you how kick-ass it is. And it's not just me. It's going to be me with Alana and DNA and activation and restructuring, and far beyond just the Valtopia magic. So it's fucking the glow up. It's huge. And I'm going to be creating a certification program from it. So it's like a whole big deal. It's a big, big deal. And it is a big deal, and I'm super excited about it. D. Maria says, you have massive good going on. Send me the info. Okay, I will. I'll talk about it. I'll share with you guys in the Celebrate group too. D. Maria says, for the first time ever, it's crazy. It's almost like I'm getting super excited about having broken up. Yeah, you get to have yourself back to yourself. Yes, D. Maria, and I urge you to get through the 1 to 3 months where you just hate to be alone and feel weird, and all the bullshit stories you're going to tell yourself about, oh, I'm going to be alone forever and never meet any, you know, your whole ego tripping that you go through. Get through that. Hopefully you can stay with us in the Celebrate group. And because when you finally get to that place where you're just good with yourself and let that space between who you were and who you're becoming happen, it's magic. It's magic. It's magic, and it takes a little time. Hey, Peepa Luke. It takes a little time. It takes trust. It takes faith. It takes support. It takes a village. You know what I mean? So, oh my gosh, I'm supposed to be the dentist in 10 minutes. Oh, I gotta go. Okay, yeah, you kind of jumped. Okay, you're solid with you. Oh, look at this. Well, I'm just gonna pull the top card up here. Abundance. Mind your peaks and valleys. And there are new light waves coming in, so let yourself receive the new energy with flow and grace and love, and share this around if you love this stream. See you at the next one. Own your frequency, Supernova. There's nobody like you. And if you want the group link for Celebrate, private message me. And if you want to know about the glow up, private message me or put it in the comments. Love you. See you next time.